Hello, U2FP. You guys are working to full potential, and I'm wondering today what you want your obituary to say. Hey, I was not with you last week because I am starting to get things turned over to YouTube and a couple other sources that are going to make it easier for us with all of this content, but I didn't want to leave you out. So I'm here this week on Marco Polo Sharecast. U2FP Coach Connect. This is Lori Zacharias, and that is U2FP.net. I want to share, our pastor called us out and he said, hey, what do you want your obituary to say? And I loved that question because that's what we do here. We really are trying to look at the end in mind, right? We're trying to think forward. And while we really learn during our coaching sessions to be relaxed and in the present mindset, it's also good to take that time and think through, what am I doing in the present that helps me get to my end in mind? And so these are so good because is your obituary going to say what you're doing today? Because what you're doing today leads to what you're doing tomorrow, which leads to what you'll do on your last day here on earth, which leads to what your obituary would say. Isn't that just so true? He brought that up and I was like, I have to share this with my coaching people. This is so great. So I'm so glad you're here today. I need you. I am in a little bit of a struggle trying to switch things around here. You know, you guys know that media and technology is not my thing, but I feel called to share with you, so I want to make it work. So bear with me in this next month or two, even maybe throughout the summer until we get things switched over and we figure out what we're doing, which will be so good. Also, another reason I need you and we need community is lost my uncle this weekend, and it's my last uncle. And I am close to, on my mom's side of the family, was close to all of every one of our families. We're just really close. And my Uncle Doug had moved back in a year or so ago into this area. And so it's been great because we've gotten to spend a lot of time with he and my aunt. It's been so good. One beautiful thing was I got to feed him most likely his last meal. He didn't really need fed often. It was only really the last day that he could not lift his spoon, and got to feed him mint chocolate chip, which is my favorite ice cream. So that was really cool that was what he was served that night, and then I got to serve him before he took his last and final breaths here on earth. In 2 Timothy, Paul says to us, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith, and God gets the glory. 2 Timothy 4:1, we live in a time when people are delusioned and we don't use common sense, and we are asked to use common sense. So we want to make sure we listen to truth. We surround ourselves with the right things. We ask God to be the Lord of our lives. Today can be that day. If you haven't been doing it and you've been struggling, and I have right now, I've been a little bit in overwhelm, and I got to practice what I preach. I got to practice what I teach. I've got to practice what I work so hard with you about for the same thing, because we're all human. We're all sinners. And so we just have to come back to that space, to that quiet, to that place where we can step back and think, where am I supposed to be? Holy Spirit, help direct me, right? Because when I get distracted by the world or distracted by that deceiver, it becomes confusing. And God is not a man of confusion. No way, Jose. So we can be and get ourselves back on track each and every day, each and every minute, each and every hour, whatever it takes. But surround yourself with the right things, the right people, the right media, the right amount of light, the right amount of energy. Just work on surrounding yourself with the right things. And think about it. We can sit here and think, yeah, but he was Paul, right? He was Paul. He had it all together. No, he didn't. If you don't know that, then go back and read Acts, because Paul wasn't always there. He had that day when he encountered the loving, living God that changed his life. And we can do the same thing. When we submit, we realize all the rubbish that we have, and then we can start to focus on the real truth. Hardship is inevitable. It really is. But when we can realize that we can overcome our sinful selves, we can overcome our hardships by being focused on the truth and the life, what a help that can be. So are you using your time, energy, and resources for what you have the idea of the end in mind? Maybe that's for eternity. Or are you using your time, energy, and resources for the world? What do you want it to say? What do you want your obituary to say? Think about that. Because I'm going to start with where I was at the beginning. And that is your obituary going to say what you're doing today, which leads to what you're doing tomorrow, which leads to what you will be doing on your last day, which leads to what your obituary say? What a great one. I think I should create a course for this. Hey, we were all made to be abundant. Thanks for being here with me. I really, truly appreciate you today. I need you today, and I hope you have a blessed week. And if not, go sign up for a coaching call. We've got new coaches. We've got extra time. I will say we are getting ready for our celebration May 1st with the ones who are in our group program right now. But come May, we have lots of opening. Right now, Brittany has openings. So do not hesitate if you need that coaching call, especially if you need to think about what does your obituary, what do you want it to say? We can begin to help you with that. It'll be all about you. You are made to be abundant, so go and do just that.